Hi and welcome back. My name's Faye from Faye World Photography, and today I'm sharing something that I'm really excited about sharing. It's something that helps us to travel for free at no additional cost to us, which is like, if that's not a reason enough to talk about it, then I don't know what will be. So today I'm going to be talking about travel hacking. Travel hacking is something that I wish I discovered sooner, but I didn't, and that's why I'm making this video, so that you don't make the same mistake that I did. It's essentially collecting points which you can then use off flights. So far I've gone to Colorado with my family for just £150 each, and then we've also booked to go to New York at Christmas, and last year we also used it to go to Ibiza business class, and that only cost us £1 each, so it was £3 to do it. So we've managed to already book 3 trips, travel in style. I can't stress enough, like, this does not cost you anything extra. And as a wedding photographer, we are booking so much accommodation and we're doing so much, so that's what I'm going to focus on as I show you this video. So before we go any further, I'm going to show you my travel account, Faye World Travel. If you are interested in travel, maybe you've got young children of your own, or maybe you just love cute things, nice glassware, and a cute old time. That's all stuff that I love to share. This is definitely more of a personal account. It's somewhere that I share my love for travel. You'll see reels and food recommendations and drinks recommendations and just activity recommendations. I am that annoying person that loves to get the most out of every day, and I'm always wanting to do the traditional things, the cultural things whenever we go to a new place. I'm also that, like, shameless person that will go to the locals and ask them what they recommend. So quite often when you see the posts on my travel account, it's stuff that people in the hotel reception might have recommended, or people that I met on the plane. I'm quite good at not just looking on Instagram for places to go to, but asking people that live there and know the area really well as well. Also, via my highlights, you can get location tags. If we look, for example, at my most recent one in Amsterdam, you can see behind the scenes, little cheeky videos, restaurant recommendations, and just the overall vibe. Annoyingly, I am that person that just sees everything as aesthetic, so I'm always taking photos, but then putting my phone away and trying to be in the moment as much as possible. So I'm going to show you the Avios website. This is where I collect the bulk of my points, and this is what I'm going to be showing you today. Avios is a brand linked to British Airways, and basically the points that you're accumulating are going to help you to get money off or free flights with British Airways. It's important to note that there are lots of different companies that offer schemes like this, and British Airways, they're a bit controversial at the moment. Some people love them, some people hate them. I've only had really good experiences with British Airways, and I can't stress enough that this is not sponsored in any way. I mean, I wouldn't say no if they wanted to sponsor me, but as it stands, this is just something that I do off my back, but I use my business to help me generate more points, and I'm going to show you how. So this video is going to be broken down into 2 main sections. The first section is how to collect points, and the second section is how to spend points. I'm going to try and keep it nice and quick so that you can start doing it immediately, and I'll also share some hacks that I've picked up over the last few years of travel hacking. So this is the new Avios website. It's not the most user-friendly. It's only been live for a few weeks, and there are definitely some teething issues, but it works, and I'm sure that it's going to become more functional as more people use it. We're going to go to collect Avios, and you can see here that there are loads of different ways of collecting Avios, but this is predominantly the one that I use, and that's shopping online. Now, there are loads of different brands that you can get points with. The easiest thing to do is just to search. So let's say you were going to put John Lewis, you just put that in. If that is a brand that they use, you'll see it pop up. Again, I did say that there are some teething issues. Sometimes when you search for it, it doesn't pop up straight away. So you just need to again, and then it will come up. Now, the ones that I'm going to be showing you today are Booking and Airbnb, because as a wedding photographer working all around Europe and worldwide, you're going to be booking accommodation, and those are the 2 main websites that people use. Now, Airbnb is something that I used to use religiously, but you can see when you go on this that at the moment it's only 2 Avios per pound. When you go on Booking, however, you can see it's up to 6 Avios per pound. So it's a no-brainer to try and get a hotel. If that suits you, the party that you're traveling with, you're going to get loads more points. Sometimes I can get thousands of points just for one booking if I'm at a place for up to a week. Another thing to be aware of as well is that when you're working in Europe as a UK-based wedding photographer, when you go to a hotel, the hotel register you with the local police department as being in the country, Whereas if you're staying in an Airbnb, it's up to you to go and do that. So if you are working abroad, you've sorted out your visa and whatever else, it's really important, like staying in a hotel is better for you because the hotel are going to automatically register you. You're going to pay city tax and you're automatically going to be registered as being in the local area. Whereas if you're staying in an Airbnb, you have to go and do that yourself. So it's just another consideration. Not only is it better for points, but also it means that you're automatically registered with the local police and that you don't need to go and do that yourself. So once you have found the company that you want to work with or get points with, this is important as well because sometimes, like if I'm getting a gift for a client or if before I'm going to make a personal purchase, I'll just search the company that I'm thinking about shopping with, and then that might not be on there, but they might have alternatives that are, and the points are really good. So then I'll just go there. If it's like a birthday card, for example, I'm quite indifferent as to where I go shopping. So sometimes if I just have a vague idea of what I want to purchase, I'll just go in, type in a few different businesses, and that will usually sway who I go with just because I want the points. And that's obviously why they do it. They obviously get like really good deals with the companies that they are affiliated with, and that's how they're able to pass on those free bookings to you. I'm not really sure on the ins and outs of it. I'm just saying that this is how I use it personally for me, and that might be how you use it as well. So we go on to booking.com. And another good thing about using booking.com is that they have the Genius reward system. Basically, the more that you get hotels with booking.com, the more discounts you get. I'm on Genius 3 because I stay away all the time. It shows you up here, look, it says that I've saved nearly £1,400, which is amazing. And depending on the level of Genius that you are, there's different levels of discount and different perks attributed to that depending on how long you've been using it. Now, in terms of using the websites, once you're on them, you just do exactly what you would do. You should check out as normal, and then these will be pending until you've completed the stay. So you'll see that a lot of these are pending because perhaps I've not checked out yet. So if it's something that's free cancellation and the money hasn't come out of my account and there's a chance that I might cancel the booking and go with something else, these will not get the points. But you can see the masses of points here, which is incredible. And then if we go to complete, you'll see it's mostly just food, like eating out, takeaways. Like if I'm away for work a lot, rather than go out to restaurants, I'll get a Deliveroo or a Just Eat and I'll sit in my hotel room and edit rather than going out and spending more money. I find that that's a lot more cost effective for me than even going to hotel restaurants, which can be quite expensive. But you can see, even though it's not a massive purchase, I'm still getting really decent points every time for purchases that I would have made anyway. And then I've also got some extras from like my Amex. I'll put a link below for a referral code. I will get bonus points for that, just to be fully transparent, at no additional cost to you, but it will also mean that you get a sign-up bonus. At the moment, I use a black one, which gives you even more points, but there is an annual fee. So I'll also pop the link for that below. Now, something I do is I've got a black Amex credit card. It's got a £250 annual fee, but because I pay an annual fee, there are so many extra perks, like you get insurances. But the main reason why I wanted it is because you get so many more points per pound spent. Every month I pay off this credit card, so I'm not living beyond my means. It's something that I do. Again, it's like another layer of the travel hacking. And then every month I will get an influx of several thousand points, and that's all helping my total. So that's a little bit about how I collect points. There's two main ways that I collect points. One is using the shopping portal every time I make any big online purchases. Like this afternoon, I'm going to be purchasing some garden furniture because it's been sunny now for a few weeks and we do not have any garden furniture. So I'll be using the portal to go in and get some extra points from my John Lewis purchase that I would have been making anyway. And then the second way that I generate points is using the American Express card as my go-to. Every time I make a purchase, I use it on that card and then I get additional points. But as I said, it's really important. I pay it off every month. I'm not using a credit card to live beyond my means. I'm using that. Another thing that I recently did as well was that I got an American Express business credit card. Again, I will pop the referral link below for that. So whenever I'm making big purchases for my business, like new camera equipment, hotels, anything like that, I can get those points. At the moment that I've got just over 50,000 points, which is not really enough to get anything crazy. You can do what's called an Avios boost, so you can actually purchase Avios, and sometimes it works out better to do that because on reward flights and stuff, sometimes it will only let you use Avios. They also do this thing called a balance boost, which I did last time because when I was booking New York earlier in the year, I was just shy of the amount I needed to boost it. So I did this balance boost. I think it cost me £250, but then I got loads of points and I was able to then get the flights. So the flights cost me £150 each for me, Jamie and Frank. So that's £450. Plus the 250 balance boost, and between that and the points that I had in my account, it was enough to pay for 3 return flights to New York at Christmas, saving me thousands because traveling at Christmas time is very, very expensive, and I was able to do that through my Avios points, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, I think I said earlier in the video, but so far I've paid to go to Ibiza, all 3 of us, business class. It's just Europe, but that cost us £1 each in fees. We went to Colorado for 2.5 weeks in March. That was £150 each in fees, so £450 total for the flights. Also worth noting that we flew to one airport and flew back from another, and that was still possible to do. So it's not just return flights, you can use it on different flights if you want to. And that was using points and a companion voucher, which I got through my credit card. So that's another way that you can get reward flights, by using your credit card every month and then paying it off. Every time that you spend a certain amount, you get a companion voucher, which is exclusive to the British Airways American Express card. It's really good. I appreciate that I'm giving a lot of information, so please do ask any questions in the comments. I appreciate as well that this is something that I've been doing for a long time, so it might be something that you need more guidance with. Just pop the questions below and I'm happy to answer from my own personal experience. As I said, I cannot stress enough that I am not affiliated with British Airways in any way. This is just something that I do because I like getting free shit. So once you want to spend your Avios, let's have a look at reward flights. I've never used the points to upgrade. I've only ever used them to get completely new flights. The main reason is that at the moment we like to travel as a 3, so going business class doesn't suit my family setup because we like being in the 3 formation, being all together, Frank in the middle, us either side. Maybe when he gets a bit bigger we'll be happy, but honestly I've always been more of a spend the money on the hotel kind of girl. We're all quite short. My husband's only 5'5", I'm 5'1", so we don't need the masses of leg room, so it just suits us. We don't really feel like that's where we want to spend our money. We'd rather spend it on the hotel, but you could use your points to upgrade to business if you wanted to have a bougie little experience. I mean, never say never, like I like nice things, so maybe I'll do it one day, but for now I'd rather keep the money, travel more and stay in nice hotels. So I'm going to show you the interface where you would use your points to get a reward flight. And at this point, I'm going to say that it is easier to use the app to figure out what flights you want to use and then go onto this interface and use your points. I don't know why, the app just feels a little bit easier. So usually that's what I'll do. I'll use the app and then I'll go onto the website once I know the places, the like start, airport, etc. So let's say I want to search London to New York, and I'm going to search for June 2025, 2 adults, economy. Let's go. So the reward flights you can only use on certain flights. You can't use them on everything. So say you've been on something like Skyscanner, you've checked all the flights that you want, you've seen the flights with the perfect times, chances are you won't be able to use your points on them. British Airways are not silly. They've only got a limited amount of reward flight availability on each flight, and once it's gone, it's gone. If it's a really, really busy route at a really busy time, chances are there's going to be no availability left for that. So you do have to be quite organised or flexible when you are choosing which like holidays to use your reward flights on. For example, it's also worth noting as well that sometimes the points are really low that you need to use and sometimes they're really high. When we went to California in January, we went and we flew with Virgin because it was going to cost us so many thousands and thousands of points to go with British Airways, and I just didn't want to use all of my points. Whereas to go to Colorado, which is obviously not as popular as New York, it was like half the points. It was so much easier when we had loads of points left over. So, and we knew that we had those 2 trips to do within that certain time frame. So try to be a bit flexible about where you're using your points and where you're not using your points. Like, don't be rigid about it. So once you have chosen your outbound flight, you can then see the availability, and you'll see here it says sold out for a lot of them because they're gone. And then from here you just choose, for the sake of this, I'm just going to check like 2 random ones. Again, this is what I'm talking about. So this is my full screen at the moment, and you can see that it's cut off. So clearly, like, there's some teething issues with the website, but it is legit. I have used it. I do recommend it. It's not dodgy. So there's different options here. Companion voucher, that's what I was talking about earlier. So you do that through usually American Express. So these are the flights, and now it's taking me to ba.com. And this is the reward flight portal where we're going to finish our booking. Right, it's not working. That's not a good sign. So I went onto the British Airways Avios website. It didn't work. So now I'm going to show you the other way that you can do it if it's being a bit silly. And basically you just go straight onto britishairways.com and go on to book and book a flight with Avios. This is the portal that it was trying to take you to. I'm not sure why it wasn't working. This is the portal that's always been there. I think they're just having some teething problems with their new website. But yeah, so book with Avios. So again, we're going to go London, let's say New York, easy breezy. Depart, let's just say some random dates, and we're going to go on return. Let's do 22nd till the 29th, 2 adults, get flights. And I've just put in some random bits and bobs just to... Okay, so it just took a couple of minutes to load, but now it's coming up, and shock, the date that I've said is not available. This is a little hack. Sometimes when I know the date, I don't know if this is like a legit thing or not, but sometimes if I knew that I wanted to go the 22nd of May, I'd just put the 21st, because sometimes I feel like they intentionally make it unavailable on the dates that you want. That's probably not a thing, but that's just always something that I do. So there's no availability on that date, but there are availability on the other date. So I've just popped in, because it had timed out, I just popped in a different date, and I'm umming and ahhing, like, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good that things keep timing out and stuff. It's not good, British Airways, sort it out. But it is just the reality of doing this, that sometimes it does time out, and I'm just going to share the real experience of using this website whilst they navigate the teething issues that they have got. Because, as I said, I have done this in real life twice already. I'm going to New York at Christmas, so I know it works. So it's saying that there's no flights on the date that I said, but there are flights on these ones. So I'm just going to check a couple. This is important to note. Sometimes it's not British Airways, it's other things like American Airlines operating as British Airways. And then on the way back, you're going to choose, there's no availability there. Let me just try. Right, so there wasn't any availability on the other day, so I've just picked another date at random, and I've just, for the sake of showing you, I'm literally just putting in that, and it will show you how much it is. So for 2 people, it's going to be 110,000 Avios and £200. So the £200 will be the fees to process the booking. If you have not quite got that many in your account, then it shows you, if you use less, how much the flights would be. And this is the point where I'm saying it might be worth comparing on Skyscanner to other companies and what their prices are, because sometimes it's loads of points, but actually you might have been able to get flights for 500 quid with Virgin or 500 quid with British Airways, not using those points. So sometimes it is worth having a look around, doing a bit of research and seeing. But yes, that's how you would do it. And then you just go through, you sort it all out, you book it all. So it's automatically, because I've only got 56,000, it said that it's going to be this much plus £1,000. Now, if I was, so it's £510 per person return, which is pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. Now, if I was to go onto Skyscanner and do again London to New York in May, what dates was that? 20th until the 29th. 20th until the 29th. 2 adults. So I'm just going to have a quick look, and you can see all the saving that you're making. Now, it might not sound that impressive, like, oh, you're only saving 300 quid, blah, blah, blah. But That was money that you've accumulated by doing nothing extra than just doing your day-to-day spend normally. So the cheapest flights that are coming up are 770. Chances are by the time you go through into the portal, they add all this other stuff, it's probably going to be more than 770. So already, just comparing that, you can already see the saving. And that's for doing nothing extra other than a few clicks before you make any purchases. So in a nutshell, that is Avios. I'll link below the website for Avios. I'll also link the referral codes for the Amex that I use. Please do your own research. This is not financial advice. This is just something that I do. I cannot stress enough that I am not affiliated with any of these companies. This is just something that I've done for years that's enabled me to travel more. I would love to see you over on Faye Wild Travel if you are interested as well. And like I said, please do pop any questions in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much.